Hello, everyone, again. I'm very happy to see all of you here. And let's start with the beautiful congratulations each other with the wonderful new year. It's a year of tiger. So the animal is strong and beautiful. And let's be like a tiger, strong, beautiful, and powerful. And I hope that you had a wonderful, new year. Beautiful celebrations with your close one and friends. Let's start with our message board. For people who are new, I just want to tell that we have WhatsApp group chat, and we post their questions, our concerns, our experiences. I post our presentations there, and we post what we do, and also I post homework there, so it's very handy. And right now, number one, it's delegation. Richard posed a question, and the question was like that: should we delegate important or non-important things? And I would like to ask your opinion. And also, we didn't discuss it much. Do you remember last time, not last time, at the time we had our meeting for almost near 2 hours. And it was one time. Usually we, all the time, 1 hour and a half. And because I shortened a little bit, we didn't discuss much. However, people found that it's very important. So let's discuss on the Richard's question. Who would like to answer? And I will repeat them. What we should share, what we should delegate, important or non-important things?
Probably important things would be delegated to prioritize important things instead of the non-important things.
Right, and can you say why? Why do you think that way?
Well, if it's not that important, then you shouldn't really worry about it that much, or shouldn't take up too much time in your head. Or
okay, good answer, very good answer. Anybody else? Okay, guys. I just seen on our group chat, it was some other answers, because I thought that somebody else will say. To me, it's absolutely obvious, and I join with Sean's opinion. Guys, let's, because I've seen that not everyone agree, and I have to offer some example. We are all grown up, and we have children. Let's imagine a family, and the mother and the father, and they have children, for example, 10, 15 years old. It's not important. Also, a boy and a guy. And they have a very important gathering. For example, they are bringing for New Year, 20 guests will come. And the men have a list of very important things to buy, for example, 20 on the list. And he needs to go to 3 shops. And in one shop, he needs to buy 20 things. In one shop, he needs to buy just, for example, 1 or 2 things. And he knows everything what to buy. What he would delegate to a son? To go and buy 20 things? Or to delegate and that son would buy 1 or 2 things? Of course, guys, we have to delegate non-important thing. And do you know why? Because we know a lot about important thing. We put effort in it. We can even put money in that important thing. And if we have non-important thing, we need to create the space for important thing, right? By delegating non-important things, and then we will clear our mind. Okay, I don't want to spend more time on it. I agree with Sean. And if everybody think that it's right, we can move ahead. Richard, do you satisfied with the answer?
Well, I would say that because of the way the quadrants are set up, that you have important, urgent, important, non-urgent, and then the unimportant things, that we want to spend more time in the important non-emergency quadrant. And in order to get there, we may have to delegate important emergency things. And so I think it's a little bit of both. But I think, yeah, the goal being to be in quadrant 2, which is important but not emergency. I believe, yes, some important things should be delegated.
I see what you mean. This is what is the quadrant number 1? This is usually what was procrastinated, because it's very urgent and it's a very short time, and especially if it's a very short time, it's very difficult will be to explain to a person what to do. However, if it's already in quadrant number 1, yes, we can delegate even some important thing. If, for example, you have 2 important things in quadrant 1, right? But still, you have to choose what is the most less important and delegate it. See, this is again the same. Even if they are in quadrant 1, we need to choose the less important thing to delegate and take care of the most important thing, because you know how to handle it. And it's we always need to remember that when we delegate, it can be some problems. Person can simply don't understand. Person can simply don't know all details. Person can be not that knowledgeable than you. Okay. Brian, please.
Well, I think for one thing, I actually love Richard's answer, to be honest with you. I actually think it was a great answer. I would also add that if you build up, you know, if you have, maybe it's kind of a question of who you're delegating to also, you know, if you want your, if you have a strong team around you, then, you know, if your management style is, if you want to develop sort of the, you know, the higher level management style, then delegating, you know, delegating more important things is probably a good idea. You know, it's like you know, it's like showing faith in your team members and sort of building them up by giving them a lot of the task to do and putting your focus into leadership over management, really. You know, it's sort of like.
Okay. So what I can say that there is, we need to accept these 2 type of answers, because we cannot go to exactly one answer. Anyway, I'm staying on my opinion, and this is what I was studying in my MBA degree, that we need to delegate less important things. However, what Brian said and Richard, if their style is that, and if they already grew in their businesses that knowledgeable managers, guys, I just want to say go ahead, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Thank you. So how's scheduling going on? Is anybody try the scheduling again? Not again, their scheduling. Patrick shared again. I don't see Patrick today. I hope he will join later. So far, I'm doing it regularly, and it's very, very, very helpful. So, and any other questions? Maybe sometimes I didn't answer and you want that answer, or maybe somebody have the additional question. Please, all the time, feel free, and at the beginning of the meeting, we always will discuss it. Brian, please.
Well, I've been trying to practice that scheduling.
Mhm.
I think I really like the schedule Patrick shared last time. But I think, or a couple times ago, I guess, but I'm still really in the process of trying to get used to it. I don't think I'm doing it very
Okay.
well yet, but I'm working on it.
Great, Brian. It's very wonderful to hear. Also, Jan is here, and I still, Violetta, one moment. I still want to discuss your poems which you post, but because today the material is so interesting and so rich and deep, we will try to do it at the end of our meeting. Violetta?
I think the scheduling is great. I used bullet
Wonderful.
points before, like there's an app reminders, which is so different from scheduling because scheduling shows you what you're really concentrating instead of, you kind of imagination. Okay, I'll concentrate on this, where you're really not concentrating on that. So I absolutely love it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to hear that. And guys, let's continue our tradition. Our stars for today is Brian. Let's applaud to him. And he's a full star for today.
Yay!
And he wrote, guys, he did it. He wrote a beautiful, absolutely beautiful mission statement. We
Yeah.
have another star for today.
Oh,
And
thank you.
another star for today is Noel. Let's applaud for him. I don't see him today here with us. However, I think maybe he will join later. Maybe he's busy, and definitely he will listen us. We will read his mission statement next time because we won't be able to do 2 mission statements today. But guys, I can tell you, you are absolutely awesome. Violetta, do you want to tell something? Okay. So, and this is Brian's mission statement. Brian, can we ask you to read it? We don't hear you.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay. So I don't have it brought up. I forgot. Should I just read it off the board, or I guess you're
Yes, I
okay.
posted specially, yes.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so for starters, my mission is to be the best possible version of myself every day. It's not, you're not going to be your best every day. So you kind of have to, I don't know, a lot of days I'm not nearly as good as I'd like to be, but I want to try and be just as good as I can be every day in everything I do. At least the best I can. And as far so for the rest of it, I really went through and split it into private, personal, and then more of a public thing. So from a private, my first private statement was that daily practice makes for lasting success. So every day I pursue the development of improved habits. And then to clearly define the person I wish to be, I use my mission statement as a guide to steer my ship by. Being at my best means getting, at least for me anyhow, at least 8 hours of sleep. So I definitely need to get that. Without it, I'm not nearly as good. And then maintaining a healthy weight through diet and exercise, and drinking plenty of water each day. And then finally, to ease the twin monsters of my life, I guess they've been anxiety and depression. I strive for peace calm and serenity through study, I guess, learning about different ways to help myself. Journaling, which I've been doing for about the last year almost, I guess. Meditation, which I've been working on through, there's some nice apps online, and I found a really nice one just recently that I really like. And then religious and social involvement. I'm not very socially involved these days, so I sort of, that's something that I've need to or want to try and work more on. I guess my personal goals, my personal side would include my family, because they are really the, I guess they're sort of the earth from whom I grow. And I want to, focus on fertilizing areas that are, that I haven't, that are undernourished, as I say, and then clear new ground, build new relationships there, and learn new farming skills, basically, by which I mean that, learn new techniques to, improve my skills and build my skills with my family. And my friends, who I value greatly, and what I want to do basically is, try to grow my my friends network by building better relationships, and of course spending time on building, not to forget friends who have really helped me to date, and sort of continue to build those friends, and then to nourish the sort of the seedlings, which mean the new friends that I have, and then of course to plant tender shoots, which means to to try and build my friendships, or find new friends, basically. And number 3, of course, is something dear to my own heart, which is, of course, mathematics, being my field of research and everything. And it's something that I sort of want to continue to, build my understanding on, and hopefully enlarge a bit. And then community, I guess, being the place I live in and the people I know, and I'm sort of want to find a way to play a better, more part in the community.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can flip to the next one, Lena.
Mhm.
And professional, I guess this is where probably I really feel like right now is I need to put more emphasis on. And first off, I think, at least I believe, computing to be the future. And so I'm sort of looking to build my own skills, both programming and data science. I've sort of I view both as being possible, and they're sort of interconnected. So I'm kind of looking to build sort of both. And then I think one thing I really need, is more help with guidance. It's
Mhm.
I know that in my situation, it's kind of been very difficult to find sort of a path forward. And so, I've kind of wanted to invest in finding, someone to help guide me a little bit more. And then, nowadays it's like everything seems to rest on the idea of a network. They talk more and more about networking being kind of the crucial step to finding a job. Actually, it's like not applying
Mhm.
for jobs, really. You have to sort of build a network, and I think that's sort of a step that I need to look into more. And then the financial aspects, I guess, again, here's something that I would say I need so much help with. But the first off is education. That learning, I guess the more like I don't really know much about financial aspects or financial stuff. So again, I think it's trying to find people to learn from and trying to get a better understanding of financial aspects. And then something that Patrick mentioned, I guess, that I sort of thought was a good idea was the having multiple revenue streams. I actually really like that idea. It's new to me, but it's something to think about. And then, of course, eliminating debt would, would be awesome. Again, I think everybody sort of wants to eliminate debt, but I definitely could do so. I don't really know if you want me to read through the goals or whatever, but that's the main part of the mission statement.
Don't know, this is, yes, I see what you mean, this is goals. What do you think, guys? Thank you, Brian, thank you so much.
Yep.
We already went through three mission statements. And what is your opinion? So let's start from you. And I can return back if you would like. So let's refresh here. Richard?
Yeah, it's very well written. It's very well thought out, as you said. The one thing that came to mind as Brian was reading through this is that everybody may not be in business for themselves, but we can think like business people and think of our financial lives as business. And so a business person would normally think of multiple revenue streams. And so that part of it is pretty interesting, because if we think of our lives as a financial business, then that would become a natural part of it. And we would be looking at ways to improve our, let's say, quote unquote, profits. Those are my thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
I relate to a lot of these goals that you have put forth. And I agree that these that the revenue streams are extremely important, particularly in this day and age. Everything is being done virtually. Anything we need about any other revenue streams or whatever we're trying to do, it doesn't even matter. The financial aspect, I kind of think as everything, in my case, I kind of think of everything that I am doing in life almost as a business. So I agree. And I've gotten to the point, you were talking about scheduling earlier, and I've gotten to the point where I literally fill up my calendar every day, even if it's saying eat or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. My entire day is filled up on my calendar. And I think that's been a really good way to guide me. And I don't know if that will help you, but it also is a very good way to weed out what is unnecessary. So I don't know if that will help you, Brian, but
we value all opinions. All people are here with valuable opinions. Thank you. Well, then I will tell. Brian, I think you did a fantastic job. Everything is relates to you. Everything is to the point, and you took all aspects of your need. You put private, you put personal, you put your professional, financial, you put goals, and everything. How I said relates to you. You know yourself. You know what you need. Uh, beautifully written. I think you did a great job. I don't have anything to say.
Well, thank you, Lena. Thanks to everyone who, thanks for your feedback and stuff. Yeah, I continue to work on it. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us, because we can look at it as well and make our add something to our mission statements based on yours. Thank you for sharing. Okay, guys, let's move ahead. Let's look at the contents, so, and figure out where we are. So we finish private victory because we went through 3 habits. Be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and put first things first. And you remember that the first our 2 meetings, we were going through paradigm and principles. And this was the preparation for these 3 habits for the private victory. And now we finish it. Congratulations. And now, in order to go to public victory, and it's the way from independence to interdependence, we need again to go through paradigms of interdependence. And this is what we will do today. It's fantastic material. Just don't know, I would put every sentence on the presentation, but of course I cannot do that. So I will try to speak a little bit slower. And if you want to discuss any of my sentence, not my sentence, Mr. Covey's sentence, but which I will present, please just raise your hand and I will see you and I will stop and we will discuss. Because it cannot be just listen and that's it. It's every single sentence is a diamond in relationships and in our personal victory. And let's continue. This is his graph, and probably you remember it. And now we can see, and now it will be much easier for us to understand what is that. So you remember dependent level, right? It's people who depend from everything around and who are blaming everything and everybody around. So in order see, private victory is inside. In order to have a private victory, we need to have habit number 1, habit number 2, and habit number 3. And only after we will have private victory. And then we will go to independence. So one, it's wonderful. And then we will go to public victory. And again, in order to have a public victory, we need to have some habits. So, and don't know who will tell me what is habit number 1? It sounds very beautiful. Be proactive. And what is how to be proactive? I can go the whole day and say, Lena, be proactive, be proactive, be proactive. But don't know, it won't happen. We need to have skills. We need to have knowledge. We need to have know what we are doing. So who can tell me in 3, 5, 10 sentences, the maximum, what does it mean to be proactive? Guys, hello.
It means to get stuff started, get the ball rolling, so to speak. Be the catalyst of the situation.
Okay.
Hi, Lena. This is Adam here. I'm just gonna sort of say what I think, and I'm honestly I'm just a little bit behind you guys here, so I still gotta work on my mission statement. But being proactive is also something that I try to think about every day, and trying to sort of summarize how I can be proactive. And I think by maybe focusing on the pillars of security, guidance, and wisdom and power. If I can master those skills and really know myself and have that security and have the right direction and wisdom and power, I think I can have focus on what proactive really means. I think that's my theory, but I sort of still got to put it into practice. So.
Very good opinion. You said from your heart, and you said to almost from your experience. Wonderful. Guys, this is a little bit help to you. This is what does it mean to be proactive. First, we need to remember that I am the creator of my own reality. Yes, Richard, please.
I'll mention what I read today in 7 Habits, that because I was in the computer field for such a long time, was very recognizable to me. He said habit 1 is where you are the programmer. Habit 2 is where you write the program. And habit 3 is where you execute or live the program. So here in habit 1, where it's defining who we are basically, and we are the programmer. And so whether we are dependent, independent, or interdependent, and what is personality ethic versus character ethic. It's more of a definition of who we are.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And this is what we were going through in order to be proactive. We were going through character ethic, and Mr. Covey said that we have to base all our actions on character ethic, not on personality ethic. Violeta?
I wanted to explain the to tell about my bracelet for the proactivity gap. This is, guys, the bracelet I was talking about.
Right.
So before to answer, I do switch it to my other hand. That gives me 2 seconds to think and to answer in non-reactive way. So I've been using that, and it's been really helpful. It's a different experience, and those 2 seconds really do help.
Awesome, awesome. Yes, so now I don't need to explain the proactivity gap. Mr. Covey called it freedom to choose. We were talking about the circle of influence and circle of concerns. Do you remember, guys? We don't need to stay in circle of concerns. We need to be in circle of our influence, because this is proactive focus. We cannot do anything with the circle of concern. We can only work on circle of our influence and get it bigger. We were talking about that in order to change the world, we need to start with yourself. We were talking about listening maturity. Has anybody tried this? It's a wonderful. I don't want to go again into that. It was wonderful, wonderful steps. We actually trying to do it. Not in my family, we are constantly trying to do that. And if you remember, on new habits, they are coming in 2 months if we are doing it. Then next, what was on us the second habit? Begin with the end in mind. What is that? What should we, how can we start with the end in mind? Do we do everything opposite? Or what do you remember from that habit?
Have an idea what the final outcome is, what you want the final outcome to be.
Say it again, Sean.
Have an idea what the final outcome is going to be.
Okay.
what you want
Okay.
the final outcome to be.
That's wonderful. Good answer, Richard.
Yeah, that's using your imagination to determine, yes, what the end result will be. Along that, you also have to visualize how you will execute, and that's the differences between leadership and management, where leadership is the imagination and management is the execution. Also, where our centers are, yes. If we're centered on our family, many decisions we make will be based on how it affects family. And if we're centered on material things, of course, that's a completely different set of responses to any problems that come up. Many of these centers are pretty common, but what Kobe suggests is that our center really should be on principles rather than anything external.
Beautiful answer. Very thorough, very beautiful answer. Thank you so much. And guys, how we are doing with Who Am I? We spent time to go through it because do you know it's essentially important. We can be very effective. We can be very productive. We can be very proactive. We can put a lot of effort. But if we don't know who we are, we can go to our own direction. And Mr. Kobe said that we can put the ladder at the wrong wall. Brian, please.
Well, I don't know if I'm exactly answering your question, but I was thinking a lot about recently something you asked, I guess, a couple times ago, which was where our centers are, I guess. And I know I was going through, I've been thinking a lot about it. And it seems to me, that a lot of the things, like for instance, I would say for the bulk of probably the last even 20 years that I was sort of career centered in some sense. Well, as much as I guess I would say anything, as I sort of became very career centered, very centered on that. But I think I could look at each one of those and say, yeah, there's been, points where, I've done things and, and I can see a lot of myself in every one of those. So for me, anyhow, I see that I've sort of had, been centered in, in numerous ways, even the friend and enemy centered. I can definitely see a lot of points in my own life where I've been in those, sort of had that centering, if you will.
Thank you.
I think that's a very fluid concept, but
thank you, Brian. Thank you. Still, let's come back again to who am I? Because guys, it's very important. We not really think about it because we are living, we know who we are usually saying, I'm a father, I'm a professor, I'm a businessman, but this is the profession. Even, let's see, I'm a mother. Yes, but before I was a daughter as well. So how to go deep inside? I really want to talk about it just for a little while, for a couple of minutes again, because this is essential. And even Brian, you said right, you said good things, but this is exactly, not exactly, again, a little bit different. You are talking about center, but who we are, Richard?
Oh, well, my answer would be is we are our values and our principles.
Yes, it's very close, very good answer. Let's go even deeper. What, for example, let me give you my example. I can share, of course, not everything, but part of me I can share with you. But for example, when I went very, very deep inside, I figured out that I was I liked learning all my life. So it's my identity. It's basically what we like to do. When we come here, God gave us that, what we like, and we need to follow that. And if we won't follow that, then we will start to find wrong centers because we don't follow what we are, who we are. I was studying all my life. Then if I'm studying something, I'm going very deep into something, what I am studying. And from that, for example, I don't like small talks because for me it's boring. So what I need to figure out, and see, I was a deep learner while I was a child, while I was a teenager, while I'm right now. So I need to look, for example, if I would be a child and my parents would think, they would need to see what is my interest and bring me to that interest, because I went through many things in my life. And anyway, I'm come back again. I'm come back to learning. I'm come back to deep learning. I'm interested in spirituality. I'm interested in self-development. This is who I am. Okay, just it was a very short remark. Let's keep going. This our habit number 3. Start first things first. And this Richard already said us and Sean 3 our habits, the first habits. And this was basically about, yes, run the program, live the program. This was about scheduling. This was about 4 important quadrants. And yes, we need to be in quadrant number 2, and this is long-term goals. Don't be a lot of here, and this is usually people who just wasting their lives. In fact, sometimes we can be here, but primary, this is our quadrant. And again, if we are coming here, guys, before to go into public victory, we need to conquer, how Mr. Covey said, the private victory. So we need to remember that is first, like algebra comes first in calculus, right? And what we sometimes see, a person is unhappy and person is thinking, okay, I will find opposite person, like not opposite, I want to say opposite sex. I will find a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and I will be happy. No, guys, this doesn't work like that. If you are unhappy, you will attract the same unhappy person. And now your unhappiness will be doubled. Now you will be unhappy double. You have to first to work on yourself. And after that, you will find a happy person. Mr. Covey said very profound thing. He said that you cannot be successful with other people if you haven't paid the price of success with yourself. Haven't paid the price. What kind of price he meant? He meant that without experience of broken relationships, we can't enter effective relationships. So basically, he's saying that there is no bad experience. Experience can be positive and negative, but still it's experience. If, for example, your experience is good, go forward, good for you. If experience bad, still go forward, but just know that you don't need to do that. So what does it mean? Don't be afraid, and don't afraid any experience. It's still experience, and it's still you're growing. You are growing into your maturity. I cannot say better than he is. We will get strength of our character. We simply have to travel the road. And guys, if we have to travel the road, I hope everybody agree with it, right? We need to let our children travel the road. And what we are doing, we are protecting them. So we are strong. We know that we need to ride the road, right? But we are protecting our children from almost every step. We try to solve their problems. We try to do for them first step. They won't be able to do first step never in their lives. I don't want to say never, but it will be very difficult for them. Let them do it. Let them have experience. They are here for that. They are not here that we nurture them and take care for them, everything. We need to prepare them for the world, right? But what to do? It's we already got problems, right? We need to go. We know what to do with children. But what if we already got the problems? How can we solve them? And Mr. Covey offered a very interesting example. So one man come to him on one of his seminar and said, Mr. Covey, I really enjoy all of your seminars. I feel serene, I'm learning a lot. However, my wife is questioning me on every single step. But he also told to Mr. Covey that he met his now wife on the same seminar, but while he was married on someone else. And Mr. Covey said, no, you cannot have fruits without roots. This is not that he needs to come and say to his wife, stop to be jealous. No, the problem is what? The problem is much deeper. They need to work together with it, right? So, and also he said that there is no quick fix. And it's interesting how we think we are going into relationship with, for example, bitter relationship, already not good, 5-10 years in a row, right? But then we go to some seminar or read a book and we think, yeah, I can fix it. No, the way how we are going there, we need to go back. Of course, it wouldn't be if you are in a bad relationship, for example, for 5 years, you need to now 5 years to fix it. No, of course, it would be much shorter. But just knowing that there is no quick fix, it already will prepare you for the patience, for the understanding the situation. And also, Mr. Covey said that we talked already about that private victory precedes first the private victory and then public victory. And he's saying that the self-mastery and self-discipline are the foundation of good relationships with others. What do you think? What are self-mastery and self-discipline? Don't know, you answered so well before that I don't need to ask you again, because it's everything. It's exactly what you were talking about. This is all. This is our 3 habits. Could we think before what we do usually? We are going into relationship and we are thinking that the other person will give us happiness, right? We are looking what the other person will give to us. Doesn't work. This is all what we need to do in order to have our victory, in order to have a victory in a relationship. Do you remember this graph? And at first it didn't make much sense. Do you remember we were talking that the habit is inside, and in order to change habit, we need to have desire, knowledge, skills, okay, and what? It really didn't make sense. But it's now only making sense, right? That in order to change us, or in order to have a private victory, we need to have desire. Okay, we have desires. everyone who is here have desire, right? We need to have knowledge. What kind of knowledge before? We have no idea. Now, all of this knowledge and skills, we need to practice. Now it's everything clear. But now what? Now we need to practice. If we won't practice, everything we will forget. Somebody in a month, the other in 1 year. But without practice, we won't be able to do that. Now for us, it's not an empty command, right? I need to be better. I need to stop to be lazy. I need to be more kind. No, now we know what we need to do. Real self-respect will come to you, but it will come to you from domination over self. See, guys, not domination to yourself, over self. The true independence, we already talking about the second level, right? Will come to you, and the respect of the people will come to you, but you need to work on yourself. This is what it means, change yourself first. You remember that, right? And do you remember, guys, who were with us from the very beginning? Do you remember 3 people at the first meeting were in a deep problems? Like literally people saying by themselves, I am in a deep problems. My life is a mess. Where they are? They're gone. And do you know why? Do you know where they are? They are in the same deep problems. Why? Because they were hoping that this meeting, or me, or you, or whatever, some book will give a quick solution. They will read that magic word and everything would be changed. They didn't expect that it's a hard work. Next, independence is an achievement. What does it mean? What kind of achievement Mr. Covey talking about? Can you share your opinion? Why is it achievement? Richard?
Well, I would say it's an achievement to yourself, to your self-respect. From my perspective, taking personal responsibility to be independent and not blame others for your shortcomings is an achievement to myself.
Beautiful answer. Brian?
I should say, welcome, Patrick. Great to see you.
Yes, we're a team.
I love Richard's answer. Actually, I do think that I actually didn't think of it like that, but yeah, it's something to gain, to free yourself of the well, I don't know if you can free yourself of being completely dependent, but to gain the independence of will and stuff is sort of, yeah, I think mastery over yourself, or so I don't know, sorry, not mastery, but building yourself, I guess. Sorry.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Patrick, please, and welcome.
Thank you. First of all, Happy New Year, everyone. I like the question about independence. It's really about making the correct choice, or making the ethical choice that is beneficial to those around you, but also that you yourself consciously choosing to be the contributor of flourishing, of helping others flourish, right, around you. So that's what I mean. To me, that's what I mean to be independent. It's not like there's a carrot that's dangling in front of you. You must do it, right? It's from within to say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this because I choose to do it. So there's a difference, and that is true independence to me, anyway.
Beautiful, beautiful answer, guys. Thank you. Independence is a choice. Only independent people can make. It is foolish to try to develop human relation skills without being independent. We might try. We might even have some degree of success when, how Mr. Covey is saying, when the sun is shining. But when some difficult times will come, we won't be able to sustain it. The most important ingredient we put into any relationship is not what we say or what we do, but what we are. Wow. Not what we say or do, but what we are. Because people can sense our duplicity. We simply won't be able to create and sustain the effective interdependence. So people can sense our duplicity. Some people say that you have to like yourself before you like others. It's actually very interesting, and let's discuss it. And Richard, if you wanted to add something, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I did read a bit about this, the word duplicity, and it's basically what that your actions don't match with your words, and the essence of duplicity is it ends up in lack of trust, and in order for people to follow you or to work with you in an interdependent way, they have to have trust. And so duplicity and integrity, well, duplicity is what you want to avoid with your integrity.
Yes, thank you. And the next, very next sentence will tell us how to not fix that, but at least in which way we need to look in order to not have that duplicity. So, and let's return to what I said, what Mr. Covey said, that about some people say that you have to like yourself before the other people like you. So can you say your opinion? And where is the line? My personal question, where is the line beyond which we become selfish? I was trying to search for that answer for many years, but when I found the answer, it was very simple. I want to hear what you think about it. I will repeat. Some people say that you have to like yourself before you can like others. What do you think? So basically, this is talking about love yourself. Patrick?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, that's what the great commandments from the Bible is, right? From the Christian tradition, where, you basically love your others as yourself. I add a little bit, it's like including all the flaws, right? So the key there is, in terms of this goes back to private victory, right? The notion of you gotta have to have the resources, right? You have to develop the asset, right? The love or the liking, right? That's within yourself in order to basically give it to others, right?
Okay.
If you don't do that, then you don't have anything to give, right? Or like you said, the other example that you had earlier was like, hey, people show up because they're looking for a quick fix or a quick hit, and then they move on thinking like, okay, I have the answer. But the reality is we all have the answer in us, and that's why this whole program makes sense. Is for the inside out development is that we have it because God gave us these things, right? Or whatever you believe in, right? And the key there is for us to basically strengthen those and then share with other, and then that's where it happens. As far as you mentioned, like, where is that line? I mean, the line is basically where where the person thinking like, oh, I basically giving a choice between like, oh, it's for me and not for you. If between you and me, it's going to be me as a first priority. That's the line, I think. So at least for me personally, that's how I feel.
Very beautiful answer. Thank you so much. Okay, I think everybody said about that. I just make a quick line that when we start to devaluate people, then this is the line. But yes, we have to work on yourself. We cannot share the bread if we don't have the bread, right? So we need to work on ourselves. And this is why Mr. Covey work on private victory first, then go to public victory. But the moment when we start to think, basically, I am better than he is or she is, that is the line when we are going into selfishness. So simple as that. And this is Mr. Covey thinks very important, that if you don't know yourself, if you don't control yourself, if you don't have mastery over yourself, it's very hard to like yourself. Wow. Could you think about that? Guys, it's like a vicious circle. I don't know myself. I cannot control myself. I don't like myself. And then again, it's going and going on. So where is the exit from this circle? This should be taught in school, seriously. This book should be taught at school. This is our private victory. Guys, if somebody feels something is not satisfied with yourself, go back. Go back and do it. This is work not, we going very fast. We were going into problems for how many years? 10, 20, 30? And you think that for these 10 meetings, we will be the mastery of our private victory? No way. It doesn't depend. We are all beautiful. You remember, I will keep telling it all the time. We are perfect. We are wonderful. But if we need to be happy with yourself. And if you it's something don't happy with yourself, go back and work. So the place to begin building any relationship is inside ourselves, inside our circle of influence, our own character. And how we discuss, we not all the time do it, right? We are looking for somebody else that he or she would bring happiness to us, right? As we become independent, proactive, centered in correct principles, value-driven, and able to organize, execute around the priorities in our life, we then can choose to become independent. And we will be able to build rich, enduring, highly productive relationships with other people. And guys, independence opens up worlds of possibilities for deep, rich, meaningful relationships. The productivity will increase. We will learn how to serve, how to contribute, how to grow. I can say this is a blowing mind material. But also, this is the place where we feel the greatest pain. And it's really nice to be aware of it. I don't want to like, yes, great, let's do it. And they start and they have a pain. And yeah, I do something wrong. No, if we will have pain, it doesn't mean that we do something wrong. It means that we are learning. It means that we are having experience. And from that, that more pain, it's bigger growth, bigger maturity, where the greatest frustration will be better, we become stronger. So we are very aware of the pain because it's very acute. And what is interesting part that we can live for years with that chronic pain. And sometimes we try to step forward, we try to do something, we try to manage, but usually it's for a short period of time. And everything come back. And we learn to live with this pain. hoping that someday miracle will happen and everything would be fine. No. And especially when we start to interact with other people, that acute pain is even stronger. But we want to that pain would go away. And we try to use quick fix techniques. It's something like Mr. Covey called it band-aid of personality ethic. With close one, it's usually personality ethic, it's at work, right? With your friends or co-workers. But with our close one, we start to create excuses. And not only for yourself, because it's pain, it's strong acute pain, even for the people who gives us pain. Just to less that pain, that we would feel, wouldn't feel it. And we don't understand that that acute pain is outgrowth of the deeper chronic problem. And until we stop treating the symptoms and start treating the problem, our efforts will only bring counterproductive results. So what Mr. Covey wants to tell us? Just in your words, what you understood, because do not very deep material. Let me give an example. And
If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you're not going to have good relationships with other people. What it says.
That's right. That's right. And right now he's already talking about relationship with other people, and what he's talking. For example, let's take any example. A child doesn't listen to us, right? And we try to scold the child and say, you don't do this, you are not right. But this is not that problem. We need to go deeper. Why he's doing this? So this what he's saying. Do you remember I was talking about the tree? And for example, if the leaves start to wilt, and we can we can polish that leaves, we can spray water on it, it won't help because the problem is in the root. Or I can tell another example, like for example, a leaky boat. We can cross out the water, right, from the boat, and we can be very effective. Guys, we can create muscles, then we can take a bigger scoop. Oh, new method, we can call for friend, right? Or we can even have a pump and do it with a pump. Yeah, very effective. We even can be proud of ourselves. But when the problem won't go away until we will fix the boat. So if we have some chronic problems with our close one for years and years, it's not about to tell them, hey, change your behavior. Or maybe I will change behavior. We need to sit and talk and figure out what is going deeper, or think also what is going deeper, going to the root. So before to go into habit 4, 5, and 6, Covey introduced us a very powerful metaphor in describing relationships, and also PPC balance. And this is the emotional bank account. Wonderful, wonderful thing. And what he's talking about, he's talking that everybody knows a financial bank account, right? And we know that we make deposits into it and build up a reserve, right? From which we can make withdrawals when we need to. And an emotional bank account is a metaphor that describes the amount of trust. So this emotional bank account describes the amount of trust that had been built up in the relationships. It's the feeling of safeness you have with another human being. He's saying if I make deposit into the emotional bank with courtesy, kindness, honesty, keeping commitments, I build up a reserve. Your trust toward me becomes higher, and I can call upon the trust many times if I need to. And the interesting thing, I can even make mistakes. Can you imagine the luxury? I can even make mistakes, and the trust level, that emotional reserve will compensate for it. My communication can be not clear. We all the time, sometimes we can be clumsy, right? But anyway, that person will get the meaning what I wanted to say. He's saying that you won't make me an offender for a word. How many times it can happen? People are living in 10, 20 years and they still picking up each other just for one word. So when the trust account is high, communication is easy, instant, and effective. But if I have a habit to showing discourtesy, disrespect, overreacting, ignoring you, betraying your trust, threatening you, or playing little tin God in your life, eventually my emotional bank account is overdrawn and the trust level is very low. Then what flexibility I have? Mr. Covey said none. I'm working on minefield. I have to be very careful of everything I say. I should measure every word. It's a tension city. And many families filled with it, many marriages filled with it. If a large reserve for trust is not sustained by continuous deposits, guys, I again repeat, continuous. It doesn't mean that if when we were dating and my husband said to me, I love you 10 years ago, that we can stretch it through the 10 years. No, continuous deposits, marriage can deteriorate. Where two people simply attempt to live independent lifestyles, tolerate each other, then deteriorate to hostility, defensiveness, right? Withdrawal, self-pity, they can end it up in cold war at home, which sustained only by children, sex, social pressure, or image protection. They can end it up in open warfare in the courts. Okay, let's don't go into that set details. Let's hope that we are better. So please, I don't want that you would accept that everything right now is what's happening, it's your fault. No, we need to keep a gold middle, and we need to understand that even we are trying, what we need just to do our best. But we need to understand that not everybody, even if our close one, on the same level, maybe they are higher, maybe they are lower. So we need to see, be pretty smart with whom we are communicating. So how I mentioned about constant, continuous deposit, Mr. Covey tell it again, that our constant relationships, like marriages or constant relationship, require constant deposit. With continuous expectation, all deposits evaporates. That's it. Patrick, please.
Yeah, Lena, I have a question. Do you
Yes.
think the emotional bank account could be used in the private victory area?
It's a good question. Absolutely. It's right now I can say only like my opinion. Absolutely beautiful question. Never think about it. Richard?
I'll say that the keeping commitments part is something that that rings true to me. I listened to Covey describe this as a when he had one situation with his son where he promised to do something, and he said that he would, in his promise, under most circumstances. And if there was a situation where it just could not happen, that the next thing would be to ask to be released from that commitment. So keeping commitments is for me is pretty strong, along with all the other ones.
Yes.
That's the one that most resonated with me.
Yes, knowing you, I know that you're actually a man who can keep commitments. Yes. Also, what Mr. Covey mentioned, that there are sometimes automatic withdrawals in our daily interactions that we even don't know. What is that? Or maybe it's a too obvious question. It's when we value something and the other person doesn't value, right? And we can say something, we can accidentally offend. And this is going, we need to remember that it's going automatic withdrawals, even without our understanding and knowing about it. And also remember, there is no quick fix. Mr. Covey actually saying that it's a mirage. Building and repairing relationships takes time. But guys, why we are afraid of it? Go for it. We are here for just 100 years. How Patrick posted one message, do you remember a long time ago? You even counted, not you, added post counted how many weeks we are here. We're like on a trip. So enjoy it, try everything. We don't need to regret. And our last days, that we didn't use the opportunity which we have. Try, do everything, do your best. Only after that, do everything is possible. And after that, you can be quiet. You will live quietly. If, for example, it didn't work, then go by your way. But you will be quiet because you will know that you did your best. And of course, Mr. Covey never leaves us alone. He is offering us 6 major deposits. So right now we will talk about the emotional bank account, and we will talk about 6 major deposits. In order to build the emotional bank account. And the first, it's understanding the individual. Really, guys. Seeking to understand another person is probably one of the most important deposits you can make. And it's the key to every other deposit. It's the key to every other deposit. You simply don't know what constitutes a deposit to another person until you understand that individual. Then you will be able to find the right key, right? But if you don't know the person, you will find the wrong key. And we need to remember the difference, that what is important to you might be completely unimportant to another person. For example, somebody will invite me for small talk and I will die from boredness there. But the person will think that he's doing good to me, right? So we need to know, especially close one. And some people even don't care to listen. They want to think that, yeah, I want to understand him, but they even don't listen. They listen with the intent to reply back. And of course, their ears are closed completely. To make a deposit, what is important to another person must be as important to you as the other person is to you. This is why I'm writing all that on Word, because it looks complicated, but it's beautifully said. So it means the bigger deposit for the more important person, right? And the less deposit for less important person. And that's right. Who is the most important for us? Our close one, right? So then put a bigger deposit to your close one. And what we are doing, can we do something opposite? Any example? It's a strange question, right? But we can. We are very nice to a stranger. We are very kind to a stranger. Are we kind to our close one? No, we can come with a bad mood. We can say something rude, right? They are our close. They'll be fine. I see I'm in a bad mood. We even prepare for the strangers. Let me ask, what are you doing in order to go to shop, for example, or to go on the street, especially girls? What they're doing? They're preparing and having shower, they're combing hair, they're making makeup, they're dressed up. For whom, guys? For whom? Whom she's going, whatever she is, right? My husband anyway loves me. And she's going to shopping. She's going to complete strangers who she doesn't know, who she never saw, and for 100% never see them. But she's making herself beautiful and disregard what husband, what kind of husband, like not husband, husband, what look at her. It doesn't matter. And it's already become a habit. We even do it unconsciously. I really don't think so that everybody does it specially. No, but it come from, do you know from where it come? When we were looking for our second half. Yes, we were preparing, we were going to discotheque, we were going to a date, and then that habit is going and going and going. No. Noel, hello.
Hey,
Please say
Lena, how are you
something.
doing? How's everybody? Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
So I think a lot of growing up, everybody always want to look their best when they leave their house, but nowadays, being dressed up excessively is more for an self-image, of what other people think. A lot of people, people stop worrying about themselves, and now they're worried more about what other people think than what they think, for themselves. I guess maybe they stop loving themselves and they're worried more about what the other person's opinion is over their own, which is a problem in the society that we live in.
You're right. There is has a point, but I think it's not for us because we know our value. And when we start to learn, when we value with whom we are living, our wives, our husbands, and we know that they are the primary value, the biggest investment.
Correct.
They are.
Correct.
We can change. It's all in our power, right?
Correct.
This is very interesting. Bonding experiences. Mr. Covey is saying that it's our tendency to project out of our autobiographies what we think other people want or need. We project our intentions and the behavior of others. We interpret what constitutes a deposit based on our own needs and desires. Either we were at the similar age or the stage in their lives. And if they don't interpret our effort as a deposit, our tendency is what? To take it as a rejection and to give up. That's very important to know that. This probably the famous golden rule says that do unto others as you want, have others do unto you. Then he offered another quote. One successful father said that treat them all the same by treating them differently. It's interesting, it's insightful. And I want to offer to you our platinum rule. It's still back a long time ago, back in Russia, we had that. So this is, I repeat, the do unto others, it's golden rule. But this is platinum rule. Treat the others as they want to be treated. To me, it resonates this more deep. So this is as they want to be treated. It means we value what they want. If I will treat the others like I want, right? It might don't meet their value. Guys, it's 5:29. We are at our limit, and I won't be able to finish today. Let's don't rush, because the material is very interesting and very deep. And I wanted we would get it till the heart. So what can you tell? What can you share with us? What you are taking with? What got you? And if you would like, I can return to some PowerPoints. Richard, please.
Definitely the emotional piggy bank. I understand. I've understood the concept in a different way, but this is a little bit more simple, so that it resonates with everybody. I definitely like that analogy.
Beautiful, thank you so much. And again, just remind you that we will go through 6 deposits, and we went just through 1. But if you think that it's very important. Thank you, Richard. Anybody else? What we were talking about? Let me see, bank account. This is so many important things. If you would like, I will post it on our message board. Yes, Sean, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I like the part about building relationships, where it was how place to begin building any relationship was inside ourselves, inside our own circle of influence and our own character. So that's a good part.
Yes, yes. And even I'm sure that we know that, but the reminder is very important. And how Mr. Covey set it up, it's understandable, personally to me, going to the heart, and plus he is offering right away some solution. Do this, do this. You cannot do this if you didn't do this. I think it's wonderful. And I'm just coming back to refresh what we did. No, this, I think, all our repetition. So, okay, guys, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to see you. But I'm happy that it's working for us this time. And Jan, are you here? Are you with us?
Yang had to leave.
Okay, okay.
Yang just
So,
left.
yes, then I won't be able to discuss the poems without him. So maybe next time I promise at the end. So who would like to, that would stay. But thank you so much again. Happy New Year, and see you next Sunday at 4. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.